Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to talk about the fates of each upcoming video game movie. The reason I wanted to do this video is because a Minecraft movie is performing extremely well in the box office, and I thought it would be really fun to predict the outcomes of each upcoming video game film. Which ones will bomb and which ones will end up succeeding in the box office. So basically what I'm going to do with this video is that I'm going to go through 10 upcoming video game movies in order of release, giving my thoughts on each one and cover what we'll know about each video game movie so far with my Rotten Tomatoes predictions, box office predictions, and I will finally declare at the end of each section if the film will bomb or succeed. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? First of all, we have a video game film that's not that far off from release, that being Until Dawn. Until Dawn is adapted from an interactive horror game directed by David F. Sandberg, who directed both Shazam and Shazam Fury of the Gods. In my opinion, David F. Sandberg has only had one good movie, that being the first Shazam movie. And from the trailer of Until Dawn, I am not sold from the trailers at all. To me, it looks more like a streaming movie than a movie that would come to theatres. But do I think Until Dawn will bomb or succeed? Until Dawn, I think, will bomb. I do think video game adaptation horror movies are too big of a risk to take. And especially with a lesser known name like Until Dawn, it's probably a big risk to take here. Especially with some of the names not being that big name, or I just don't think general audiences are going to care for the Until Dawn film. For the Rotten Tomatoes score, I predict Until Dawn will be 17%, and I don't think it will cross 100 million in the box office. Up next, we have Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the 2021 Mortal Kombat reboot, with Johnny Cage, a popular Mortal Kombat character, confirmed to join the cast. And the director from the original from 2021 is returning for this movie. The first film did decently on HBO Max, but the reviews for this movie were a bit mixed. I did enjoy Mortal Kombat 2021, but I do think, with not a lot of people talking about its sequel online, I do think there is a chance that Mortal Kombat 2 will bomb in the box office. Because don't forget, the first film didn't do well in theatres because of the release timing, and depending on the overall quality of the movie, because of what I've been hearing about the test screenings and stuff, I think Mortal Kombat 2 will bomb. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score will be 43%. I don't think it will be as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And the box office for the film, I do think will be less than the first, around 40 to 60 million dollars. So for Mortal Kombat 2, yeah, I think this one's gonna bomb. The third film in the video, we have Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This film is due to release at the end of 2025. And considering how big of a success the first film was for Blumhouse, and with Matthew Lillard returning from the first movie, despite the first film getting negative to mixed reviews with the critics, it made almost $300 million in the box office. But do I think Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will bomb or succeed? Well, considering I wasn't the biggest fan of the first movie, there is still a strong fan base for Five Nights at Freddy's, so I do think there is a chance it will succeed. As long as it feels more like an actual horror film this time, I do think fans will show up for the FNAF film. I don't think this will be a hit with critics, but it won't have an impact on the box office. The Rotten Tomatoes score I do think will improve from the first film, somewhere between 50 and 59, and in the box office, I do think it will make around 350 million. So for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I think it will succeed. The fourth film we're talking about here is the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. We don't know exactly if this film's a direct sequel or a spin-off just yet, but considering how financially successful the Super Mario Bros. Movie was, I do think there is a high likelihood it will cross $1 billion in the box office. And while Mario's first theatrical attempt in 1993 did bomb in the box office, just ignore that. Based on the box office performance of the 2023 Mario movie, I do think it will end up being Illumination's highest grossing movie. If not, up there with Minions, Despicable Me 3, and the original Mario film. Do I think the film will bomb or succeed? Succeed is a guarantee for Mario, because the first one was financially successful, so yes, I do think the sequel will be a hit. My Rotten Tomatoes score is in its 70s. The box office prediction, I do think, will be 1.5 billion, being the highest grossing non-Disney animated movie. We don't count Ne Zha 2, because that is a Chinese film, but the highest grossing American animated film to not come from Disney. So, for the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, I think it will succeed. Now moving on to Resident Evil. Yes, another Resident Evil movie's happening. And despite not one, not two, but 7 Resident Evil films, an 8th one is in the works. Capcom still wants to make a live-action Resident Evil franchise so bad, but little is known about the upcoming reboot. And considering that the Resident Evil movies don't have a good track record critically, I've not seen any of them, so I can't actually say if they're bad or not. But it is difficult to trust Resident Evil theatrically anymore. And as beloved as the games are, I just don't think Hollywood has been able to get Resident Evil right. So I do think this upcoming Resident Evil film that's due to come out on September 2026, I think this one's going to bomb. I think my Rotten Tomatoes prediction is in its 20s, and for the box office, I think it will be between 20 and 30 million. So, will Resident Evil bomb? Yes, it will. Now, the 6th film I'm going to talk about here is the Angry Birds Movie 3. It actually was recently confirmed that a 3rd Angry Birds movie is coming in 2027, and since the 2nd movie underperformed, I think it clearly shows that Angry Birds is probably not a big hit in the theatres like it used to be. I'm not gonna lie, I did think the 2nd film was pretty good, a big improvement over the 1st, but considering that the hype for Angry Birds has long gone, I don't think a 3rd Angry Birds movie would technically do well in theatres, no matter if it ends up being good or bad. Like, I think the Angry Birds Movie 3 would have been better off as a streaming movie, not in theatres, mainly because of the box office performance of the 2nd movie. For the Rotten Tomatoes prediction, I do think it will be in its 60s. The box office prediction, I think it will be at least 50 million and at most 90 million. And do I think the 3rd Angry Birds film will bomb? Yes, I do think it will. The 7th movie, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 4, slated to release in March of 2027. I do think Sonic the Hedgehog 4, we already know that Amy is going to be in it, and Metal Sonic, but we don't actually know what Sonic game it's going to be adapted from. I think my biggest guess is Sonic CD and Sonic Heroes. Just hope Big the Cat's not in it. But do I think the film will bomb or succeed? I think Sonic the Hedgehog 4 will succeed. I don't think it will make as much as Sonic 3, but it definitely will make more than Sonic 2. So my biggest guess for the box office is about 450 million, with the Rotten Tomatoes score being in the 70s. So for Sonic 3, I think it will succeed. And now we come to the video game film with the one I'm the most skeptical about. That being the live-action Legend of Zelda movie, due to come out on the 26th of March, 2027. I have said multiple times on the channel that I'm very skeptical about the Zelda film. Like, a Legend of Zelda film is my most wanted video game movie, but the reason I'm heavily skeptical about a Zelda movie is the people making the movie. Because so far, we know that the movie is produced by Nintendo and Sony Pictures. Wes Ball is directing the movie, which Wes Ball has only had one good movie, and that being Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The rest of his filmography, consisting of the Maze Runner films, I didn't typically find that good. The producer being Avi Arad, the reason that Venom was forced into Spider-Man 3, because I'm not gonna lie, I think Avi Arad is quite a scummy producer. And I do think Avi Arad, it's gonna cause a lot of disagreements with the production of the movie. Especially because Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto are overprotective with their IPs, and Avi Arad could potentially interfere with their vision of the movie. But the writer, Derek Connolly, is another skepticism I do have with the movie. And while he did write the first Jurassic World film and Detective Pikachu, I don't think the rest of his writing credits have really hit with me. I never saw Monster Trucks, Kong Skull Island, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, or Jurassic World Dominion. Like, I think the only two writing credits I think Derek Connolly hit with is Detective Pikachu and the first Jurassic World film. So we'll have to wait and see how the writing is with Derek Connolly and the live-action Legend of Zelda movie. But do I think the film will bomb or succeed? Well, at the end of the day, The Legend of Zelda is quite a popular Nintendo IP, but I think the quality of the movie could have an effect on how it performs in the box office. If it's generic or too safe, I don't think it will perform as well. I don't think it will be $1 billion like Mario, but I do think it will break even. I think at minimum, it will gross $300 million, and at maximum, $500 million. But overall, it comes down to the quality of the movie. And I think the live-action Legend of Zelda movie will break even. I don't think it will bomb or succeed. I do think it will break even. Now, for the 9th film on the list, we have Street Fighter. It doesn't have a release date yet, but we do know that it is in development at Legendary Pictures and distributed by Sony. I do think it's unpredictable how a Street Fighter reboot would turn out, because I've never actually seen the original Street Fighter movies, neither the 1994 movie or The Legend of Chun-Li, but I've heard nothing but bad things about them. We don't have a release date or a cast yet, of course, but I do think it is unpredictable how a Street Fighter film would perform in the box office. Unless they get a really good choreographer for the film, I think it could break even. But for me, a Street Fighter movie could go either way. But since it's by Legendary, the people who made Detective Pikachu and a Minecraft movie, it's unpredictable. So I'm probably gonna say that it breaks even or it bombs. It's one or the other, but I can't decide which. And now for the final film on this list, we have the live-action Watch Dogs movie. We already know that the film has finished filming and that we do have 3 cast members for the film, I don't think any of the cast members we have from this movie have actually convinced me to watch the upcoming Watch Dogs movie. But at the end of the day, it's unknown if the live-action Watch Dogs movie is going to theatres or if it's going to be a streaming movie. And considering how Ubisoft does not have a good reputation in terms of filmmaking, I never saw their Apple TV Plus projects, but the live-action Assassin's Creed movie just wasn't that good. If Watch Dogs ends up releasing theatrically, I think it will end up bombing, mainly because of Ubisoft's reputation. Unless they actually do something good here, it's hard to predict what this film can actually be like. A film that actually feels faithful to the source material, or just a generic movie. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score, it will be in its 40s, and for the box office, I think it will make $10 to $20 million, and it will end up bombing if Watch Dogs ends up being theatrical. So guys, what did you think of my list of video game movies I think will bomb or succeed? And I want to hear from you. What video game movies do you think will bomb or succeed? So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.